better. Okay? I just cannot, siguro kung nasa normal na stage lang tayo and we're all in a town hall, I could have asked everyone to say a resounding yes. But I know in your heart of hearts that, it's a resounding yes. That there's really a call for action and solidarity as one team MaxiCare. The reason why I'm saying this is that I'd like to end my slide on this, that we are now feeling how this COVID-19 pandemic is impacting each one of us personally, our families, our company, and the businesses globally. And it really has a big impact in the way we do things. A number of our colleagues will now be on forced leave and will be on a no work, no pay situation. And my ask is that, and the company's ask, SMT's ask, is that all others must share the load. So in the next few days, we are launching a campaign called We Are All in This Together, Share the Load campaign. We are finalizing right now and doing consultation with the various groups in the company in terms of what we really need to do in order for us to share the load, so that even our employees who will be placed on forced leave will feel that they are not alone taking on the load for this, that everybody will really have to share the load. Again, as one team MaxiCare, we can weather through this because we are all in this together. So thank you very much, Sean. That ends my slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for really, putting more details into what we're going to do moving forward. But I'd like to also highlight a couple of things. Number one, our priority in our direction is to keep our workforce intact. So unlike what other companies, specifically, BPOs are doing, and other corporate clients, we want to make sure that we keep everyone intact. And we are trying to develop new products so that we can get more people back to work sooner. So even those in a no work, no pay situation, we expect this, as we move forward to even change and to get people back to work sooner rather than later. And that is really the intent of the program. The intent of the program is just to really balance and to make sure we manage the risk of cash flow at this point in time. And as Joe mentioned, this is a policy and this is a program that we will constantly review and adjust very, very quickly as things change. So I expect that minimal impact to a vast majority of our employees. And even if you are impacted by this, two things to keep in mind. Number one, you will continue to get support from MaxiCare. You will still be covered by your HMO benefits. You will still also get financial support from MaxiCare. And then second, is that even if you go on forced leave, given it's early in the year, many, if not all, would still have leave balances. So I do not expect, even for the next pay period, to have any impact at all, or very, very minimal impact, if any, to your net pay. So you can still expect that, the crediting for payroll will not be impacted, at least for the next pay period and beyond, if you have more leave credits. And finally, I do expect that workload to pick up again back in June, July, August, as things gradually return to, a more free environment in terms of movement. It will never go back to the way it was now, but things will hopefully improve by June onwards. And with the new products kicking in, hopefully by then, we would see less and less people on a no work, no pay situation, or even none at all. And that is really the goal and the commitment of management that we have, and to all of the employees and to all Team MaxiCare. Okay, so Joe, I guess we're gonna be able to answer a few questions or address some of the
Yes, yes.
comments.
I think Grace and Jasper actually have a compilation of these questions. I don't know if you could read some of the questions that came in first, Jasper or Grace.
All right. Yeah, here are a few. One is, Are the employees, if they're going to be working from home, are they allowed to buy their own device? Since there was a suggestion coming from one of their immediate managers to check online for cheap units, and how are we going to go about it if they buy their own?
Right. So a lot of several employees who are working from home already use their own device. And ICT developed DX Group under Sylvia's developed a work from home toolkit. And depending on the nature of work and the systems that they use, by all means, if you fall within the criteria, you can use your existing device. So Sylvia, you want to touch on this a bit more?
Thank you, Sean. Yes. So depending on what you will access, you will be able to use your own device, right? Because if you're only using Google, right, and Google Docs, and systems that are online, that we ask though that you make sure that you have protection. Having said that, thank you for that offer. We are going to be launching next a bring your own device process, part of security, so that those people who are bringing their own device, we will be implementing security systems in your devices to make sure that we remain secure while working from home. So that's the next phase of the work toolkit.
Okay, next question is, if for those selected staff who will be requested to return to work, will the availability of public transpo be factored in? Let's say someone coming in outside from Manila and then going to work with no public transportation. Will there be a support from MaxiCare from a transportation perspective?
Yes, so there'll be support in two ways. No? Currently, we already extend transportation support specifically to our corporate clinic staff and to other staff who are members of the skeletal workforce. So these are the MaxiCare vans that we have and other arrangements worked out by admin. The second is we also have a transportation allowance for certain eligible employees, especially those na naka-skeletal workforce post ECQ. Joe, can you confirm? I believe this is about the transportation allowance.
It's a 200 pesos. Yeah, it's a 200 pesos, Sean. Yeah,
yeah, that's 200 pesos per day. So, kasi we also cannot deploy our own vehicles for everyone. So, in certain cases, the support is 200.
And Sean,
Yeah.
Sean, let me just add that part of the protocol for our re-entry is that we will also be taking into consideration how far this employee who will be asked to report as part of the skeletal workforce, how far actually is the residence going to the office. I've seen that as part of the medical protocol. So it will be taken into consideration because, a long commute will also be a risk, an area of exposure. So it will be considered. But you're right, the provision that we will be putting in place for transport subsidy post ECQ is at 200 pesos per day for anyone who will be asked to be on skeletal workforce.
Thanks. And the next question is, if the employee will be a no work, no pay status, will this be a potential pipeline for retrenchment?
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, our goal is to keep everyone intact. So we have retrenchment is currently not in our plans. And the reason why we are doing forced leave now is precisely to enable us to keep everyone intact and minimize the possibility of retrenchment. It's more of a proactive measure as well to support that commitment. So having said that, no, we don't know what the business environment will be, especially with the downturn in the US. But doing this will really allow us to weather the storm, a more severe storm, and a longer storm. So
Thanks. And then, what will be the directive for areas under GCQ starting tomorrow? Will work from home still be advisable for those who haven't gone through mass testing yet?
Well, definitely everyone is still working from home. We are status quo. As Joe mentioned earlier, our target date to get people back to the office um, is
25.
no earlier than May 25. So everyone still works from home. A key component to allowing people to come back is really testing, or at least some form of assessment if the test is not available in their location. And not everyone will go back to the office. Because of social distancing requirements, we expect only about one third of office-based employees will be able to report to work because we need to keep the space free. So work from home muna tayo. And for majority of Team MaxiCare, we will be work from home for the foreseeable future.
Sean, let me just add for those
Yeah.
admin is also crafting, re-entry protocol for areas to be placed under GCQ. Okay, but you're right that we are actually delaying the return to work date as well. Okay.
And then, we still have time, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
For those who are capable to work from home with complete device and connectivity, will they still be put on a forced leave?
If you have something to do and you can be enabled to work from home, then you will not be put on forced leave. But for example, if you have a role that you cannot do even from home, you have to go to work, you have to go to the office, then you will not be put on forced leave. But if you have a role that in this particular situation that is temporarily unavailable, or the volume is so low that we have excess capacity, you may be put on forced leave. And in those situations, it would be a priority for people who will be put in forced leave to be redeployed to other roles and functions. Again, just to keep people productive.
Is the organization going to apply for BIR for the benefits, so at least for financial support to be tax exempt? Sorry.
Okay, we've made representations already, but unfortunately, the BIR is still maintaining its position that all compensation now, especially including the support that we give to employees for COVID disruption, is still taxable. Wala pang, there is no official position statement or exemption from the BIR. Aside from that, we also check with the Department of Labor and Employment on the eligibility for our employees yung financial support. Unfortunately, the Department of Labor and Employment said we are not eligible because we are a large corporation.
And Sean, as an update, actually, I was talking to Annie yesterday. All of the companies under Equicom Group were actually denied by DOLE as of yesterday.
Yes. So unfortunately, in fact, it's funny. I haven't seen a single company that has been approved because most of them are SMEs and iilan lang sila compared to the total number of companies in the country. So not a lot of people are actually getting that benefit, sadly.
When will the employees know the direction on the forced leave and the plans moving forward?
Sorry, can you please repeat that, Jasper?
When will the employees know, or when will it be announced in terms of direction for the forced leave and then the plans moving forward? I guess it's just a timeline to when they're going to find.
Yes, when it will apply. So Joe, I understand that we're still doing the assessment at this point. No, what date do you think can this be applied? Hello, Joe. Jasper, naputol kaya si Joe?
I think it froze.
Sige,
Miss Grace,
we'll get back to that question when Joe comes back online. So let's just take note on that. And is there, let's move on to the next.
for those who will be on forced leave, will there be a prorated effect on their 13th month or the remaining 13th and 15th month computation at least?
No, there will be no proration on that. So if you're forced leave, let's just say, no, you're on forced leave for 1 month. We do not take out that 1 month on the computation for the rest of the 14th and the 13th. You still get the full amount.
If the country or if the city is still on community quarantine and staff, or at least the requested staff to return to work will be on site, will there be hazard pay?
There will be support, no? If naka-ECQ ka, like what we have now, if the community is under ECQ, we do give hazard pay and we do give transportation allowance. Now, post ECQ, what will happen kung GCQ na and ECQ, you will still get some form of support, but I'll turn to Joe for a specific answer on that. What I can say is that our objective really is to align, the support that the employee gets with the risk.
That was that. I'm sorry.
Ayun, yan. Hi, Joe. Joe, for post, if an employee who is residing in a community that's still under ECQ, no, if that employee is required to report to work as part of skeletal workforce, will they be eligible for hazard pay and other allowances?
Oh, meaning to say that the community where he resides,
Yes.
ganun ba yun?
Yes.
It's our provision for hazard pay is really on-site reporting, Sean. It's really on-site reporting. You have to be on-site. You have to be on-site.
For example,
Yeah.
the employee is in a location still under ECQ, but has to report to work.
Yeah. Oh, there will be hazard pay. I'm sorry, I didn't get that. There will be hazard pay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Jasper, next question.
Sorry, give me a few seconds. Will there be an endorsement from MaxiCare for COVID testing? Currently, COVID testing is limited only to government-identified persons like frontliners.
So that's part of our re-entry program. So anyone that comes into work, we would like to have them tested. Right now, anyone can get tested if you can get the capacity naman. Hindi naman siya limited lang to government workers. And there are many types of tests available out there, but some tests are more reliable than others. One thing that MaxiCare is doing is we are working with our affiliate lab and our partners to develop our own test capacity and to secure testing capacity from our partners. Internally, through Singapore Diagnostics, by the middle of May, by May 15, we will be able to run about 60 PCR tests per day, ramping up to a few hundred towards the end of the month. By the end of May, we will also be able, hopefully, to do 2,000 antibody tests per day. And using our own affiliate lab, Singapore Diagnostics. So we would, kaya yung re-entry, we are targeting May 25 because we are also aligning that with the assessment and testing process for our own employees and for the tests in our lab to be available.
Thanks. And going back to the 14th month pay, for those employees that will be regularized on May, are they included? And then the second question is, why aren't probational employees included in the 14th month pay?
The 14th month pay is actually given to regular employees. There is a qualifying period or tenure for you to be part of the 14th month pay provision. And probationary employees, this is not part of that component yet, no, as a probationary employee.
Yeah, so that's been a standard policy since the time 14th and 15th month pay was implemented. And the eligibility investing is based on regularization date, and it's also prorated over a certain window of time. Hindi siya aligned sa calendar year, yung eligibility. So there's a separate computation for that. But for 13th month, everyone is eligible there.
Sir, if I
Yes.
may,
Yep, go ahead.
the 14th month, the coverage for that is those regular employees from May 15, 2019 to May 6 to May 16, 2019 to May 15, 2020. That's the coverage date for eligibility of the 14th month.
Thank you. Given the volume in PCCs, will the PCC employees be part of the forced leave as well?
Sean, you're on mute.
Hello. Yes.
Yes.
So for I think that's a good example of what we're trying to do, to keep everyone productive. Some of the folks in the PCC, some of the doctors, and moving forward, the nurses as well. We are transitioning to either telemedicine or to our corporate reentry program. So I expect that many folks in the PCCs will not be on forced leave. And this is still something that we're working through and finalizing, but it extends beyond the PCC. The reassurance that I'd like to give is our intent really is to keep everyone working. What we have discussed today is a matter of policy, not a matter of, parang, we will put everyone on forced leave. It's just a mechanism that we are putting in place for full transparency so that we can both, understand and manage our expectations on what the potential scenarios are if we don't get, if we have to resort to these measures. But in parallel, let's not also lose sight of the fact that we are trying to find things for people to do.
Okay, and another one for COVID testing. Is it only dedicated to MaxiCare employees, or can their family members be included?
Well, that's a very common question. I would like, in an ideal world, we would make testing available to anyone who wanted it. However, kita naman natin, we do not have enough testing capacity available in country. Hopefully, as supply improves, and capacity increases over the coming months, we can offer it even to dependents, on an optional and a voluntary basis. But for now, we have to prioritize our employees first, and our members first. But I would love to have my family tested. Unfortunately, wala pa tayo dun eh. We don't have enough tests.
In terms of benefits, is the MaxiCare Educational Assistance Program still in place?
Yes, it's still in place.
Yes, Sean, it's still in place, but we might think of the timing of when to give it because
Yeah.
Yeah, even the school system is pretty much not certain of when to open.
Right. So these are just, I guess, matters of operations, but the program is still in place. And let's just say you're on forced leave, and you have a dependent under that program. Your dependent is still eligible for that program. Hindi mawawala yun.
Give me a few seconds, sorry.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
Sir,
Sorry,
there's a question on how they will manage their timekeeping starting May 1. So how will they manage their timekeeping? Do they have to do time in then time out via Sprout?
Uh, HR will be coming up with a follow-up announcement on this in terms of timekeeping via Sprout. In situations like this, we will be using the official business function, the OB function of Sprout, okay? Because we practically don't have the the biometrics right now. So the official business functionality of Sprout will kick in starting tomorrow, May 1st. Okay. And please wait for further announcement from HR and the payroll team on the steps to take in order to log in via Sprout again. Okay.
Yes. So, you'll have to use Sprout to record your own timekeeping, but this is really a self-declaration. So in that respect, I think we trust everyone in Team MaxSecure to make an honest declaration of their time. And kasi lalo na ngayon, pag nag-work from home, the challenge is naghahalo-halo na yung time natin. I think that's will be less. We have to do that procedurally, but we will rely largely on your own good judgment and also your integrity in that. Kasi hindi na traditional time in time out eh. Yung iba nga sa atin, we work all the way to dinner, even after dinner or even early in the morning, tapos we take a break in between. No? So timekeeping in the general sense now becomes just a way for us to really take stock and account for the work that we have done. It won't be strict na dapat mag-time in ka like what we did before, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So there'll be some flexibility there. Joe, anything you'd like to add to that?
Jasper or Grace, any other?
Sir, there's a question on PA. If it will also be credited this time, given the situation. Will everyone get their PA?
PA is
The
in
merit,
relation to the merit increase, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
Merit increase
program
bonus.
the program is very much in place. There were just some, I think, functional units that really had challenges in terms of conducting or finishing up their assessments, considering the current work from home situation. But the program is very much in place. We are actually, we hope to finish actually everything even before May ends.
Yes. So I do have to just ask for everyone's patience as we go through this process. Um, it may delays more than what we wanted, but in light of the situation, I hope everyone gives consideration on the timing. But as Joe mentioned, we are going through the PA process, right?
Yes, there are still a few questions, but I believe those are just clarifications that we can address through the forms because
Okay.
those were already discussed earlier during the town hall. So we
I
can
guess
just answer this through the form.
no more questions.
All right.
So Jasper, probably we can close because
I
there's no more questions. Last
Sean, would you like to have your closing message?
last message? Yeah.
I think sawa na sila sa boses ko. No? So, But we still have 30 minutes. But
Yeah.
if there are no more questions, I guess we can close. But the engagement doesn't stop here. As Joe mentioned, we've been having smaller meetings and smaller consultations with various stakeholders in the company, just to get your feedback and just to understand what kind of challenges that you currently face, in your own personal and your work situation, to really help us design things to keep people productive and to keep people protected. Um, and that's pretty much it. No? We're all in this together. We are looking after the interest of the entire company, and the entire company is made up of everyone, all the employees. So that's a philosophy that I hope that we have demonstrated, and I hope we have made an impact, and I hope that we have been able to support each and every employee in MaxSecure to weather the challenging past 8 weeks. And again, to reiterate, we'll continue to work together with you, to make sure that we emerge in the other end, all intact and stronger than ever. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, anyone from SMT would like to say something?
Nell, any message, Nell? Or Rods?
Not mandatory, but
Yes. But hello. Hello everyone. Yan lang.
Yung message ni Nel at saka ni, yung message daw ni Nel at saka ni Rod, background na lang.
background.
No, but, ano naman, same message to everyone. So just stay safe and we're all in this together. Sabi mo nga. Konti na lang.
Siguro some final no? But I don't think we just to give everyone on the call an appreciation of the result of your efforts specific to COVID. We MaxiCare handled a total of 2,865 COVID-related cases. We've taken care of 159 confirmed cases. Out of the 159, 129 have been discharged. 32 are still currently admitted. The length of stay is on average 18 days compared to 3 days before. And we've spent almost 60 million pesos just on these small number of COVID-related cases. So the cost is actually very high for COVID. But none of these would have been possible without your efforts, keeping evaluations up, claim adjudication up, CCD, the clinics, finance, HR, admin, DX, by enabling people to work from home, even the salespeople who have been in touch with our clients and supporting all of our clients, and finally medical team, just making sure that we keep on top of this. Marketing team has been very active in disseminating all the information that you've seen going out. Actuarial is helping us analyze the data and continuing to produce proposals. So in fact, it seems as if we're business as usual from an output perspective, in services available. So that's fantastic work. Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone for your time. I hope you found this useful. I hope that the key takeaway that you have today is one of reassurance and not anxiety. And we just have to remain positive in these times, and we'll be there for everyone.
All right, for the rest of the questions, we will just collect